Charlamagne, we left off talking about your anxiety, and you were also talking about your father and having this idea that you don't want to kind of live out the same steps that he lived. I'm curious about what it was like growing up with your father. What was he like?
My father was a great man, disciplinarian. I mean, he had his own struggles. He had his own struggles with, drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's even little things that I remember, like going to visit him in rehab, not knowing it was rehab, things like that. But I mean, he was definitely a father. He was more of a, even though he was doing things he had no business doing, he was more of a, do as I say, not as I do type of man.
Mm-hmm. I wonder about the anxiety that you've been experiencing, if any of it kind of goes back to things that you remember him saying, or...
Oh yeah, I mean, but I think a lot of people probably have anxiety when it comes to their pops. Like, I mean, those are the words that strike fear in your heart the most when your mom says, "Wait till your dad get home."
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it could be like, I remember trying to set the trailer on fire, but like I was playing with a lighter in my room as a kid and like lighting the carpet on fire. Like, yo, wait till your dad get home, and then like I got beaten with an extension cord, and then made to take a bath.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like. Yeah, so I still have that, I guess you would call it a fear of your father to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I realized that, this summer when me and him had to have a real conversation about something else, and it took me forever to even like have that conversation. Like it took me a month or two to finally just tell him what I needed to tell him. I told my wife, I told, my therapist, and I finally had that convo, and it's like when I had it with him, he totally accepted the programming. Like it wasn't even.
What was the conversation about?
I didn't like he's remarried now, and he's got step grandkids, but he's got quite a few biological grandkids, and I felt like he was being more of a grandfather to the step grandkids than his actual blood grandkids. So that was really bothering me. I mean, of course you got to show your love to your step grandkids, but come on, acknowledge your real grandkids. So that was a real issue for me.
Mm. So I wonder if it feels like he's abandoning you again.
I never looked at it that way. I never even looked at it as he abandoned me, because I felt like I was, growing around that time. So I was out doing my own thing anyway.
But the feeling.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like, I can see that. Like, don't let another generation go by where you don't really have a relationship with them. Plus, you're getting older, you're getting up in age. So like, how much longer are you gonna be here? And when you got like my daughter talking to like my niece, and he'll come over, and my daughter will be like, "Yo, your grandfather is here." Like, it's your grandfather too. You know what I mean? Those kind of conversations bother me.
So I'm wondering if there's an opportunity, or has there been a conversation with your children about who their grandfather is?
Not other than me saying, "Yo, that's your grandfather too," and then me talking to him and, saying, "Yo, you need to acknowledge your blood grandkids more." And he definitely has made the step forward to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that did bother me a lot. And that was a hard conversation to have, but that's still my pops at the end of the day. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, who am I to tell my pops what he should be doing, or to tell my pops when he's wrong, But I guess in that moment, it's kind of like the student becomes the teacher, so to speak.